the time mo flag bearer here in the concession speech was too early in the day, and that probably is something that should not have happened. Would you defend that decision at any time?
Yes.
I think
that concession is what kept Ghana in one piece.
Some believe that is why your party people also lost hope. Emma constituencies be over Mulusu.
Since you make a choice, I was a make earlier on say there were losses based on our choice or the flag bearer's choice to save the peace of this country, to protect the peace of this country. There's no doubt about that. We share senior na NDC for be a Gina electoral commission for so a cashomano that I declare now Omo Kana electoral commission for ye. We share senior Ablekuma North their course, Tema Central their course, my senior brother Patrick Buama constituency, Okaikwe Central their course, we share in Sawum their course, we share Techiman South their course. In fact, we can come close to about 100 constituencies. Edu baby no doubt about that. Especially when it comes to the parliamentary, Edu baby because even the security service officers who say yabe conceding with the elections, they were even afraid to protect the state because don't forget, say NDC, the president of the republic, is John Boadu had even gone to tweet. Say police wanna more mujaja promotion musu ye. Na yabe identify mo name brand modi. The tweet is still there. So I just say, it is clear. It is very, very clear. Say, in our quest to protect the peace and safety of this country, we've made some losses. And no doubt about that. But so the two on the skills and our balance here, this flag bearer, our presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, should be hailed as a hero. Because very few politicians, and a bit to me, a day or more interest. Political interest at one chain for the sake of the state. Very few.
Some will say he had no option. What would he have done? Never saw concede because
he didn't have to. He didn't have to. Why? John Mahama, someone former Prez Mahama, His Excellency, someone conceded that Bepe will not sign the bar back. He didn't have to. But what to say? President Mahama will lose elections and man consider that.
He didn't concede in 2020.
When concede 2020, 4 years I won't concede. Say Oteo. So when we want collapse, so he didn't have to, but he did it for the right reasons. Or Dr. Bawumia consider in the interest of the state, the sanctity of the state. Obi, I have just shown you specific constituencies Abasabasaye Ekoso. For how long now better in Akoso? These people had prepared for violence. Me say Ebuako North, Omoko block easy Ejebalobo Titimu. Several constituencies across the country. What would you do? You would say men consider men train kakra. All you needed to do is to let the people I didn't know more winning and who you some best say unfortunately, with Yeni in the NDC, that group of persons are almost say Nipa look about dear to say more winning and who you some beko. You are prepared for to by force at all costs. And that is what happened. But we have learned lessons from it. Yes, your lessons.
But is that not why some of your party folks will call you and say we are disappointed? So going into an election of this kind, namuni the emo kind of operation, namuni plan B ain't yes. The state through the security task force for elections, the promise say they will take charge. And you went to sleep?
Yes, I am final. And I say that press conference later, I think a little before 12 a.m. or a little over 12 a.m. The National Democratic Congress had held a press conference where the communications officer of the NDC had called on the NDC followers to go to the coalition centers and go and storm there.
Yes.
In fact, our press conference here in the Crown, we didn't have a scheduled press conference at that time. But when he did that press conference, we had a responsibility to first of all ensure that young Kofo do not go and clash. And for instance, if you ask me, I'll tell you that's one of the things I regret. Because if I knew, say the NDC were going to cause rampage, say in 2024, maybe a democracy could do. Domuye Ablekuma North. Domuye was so many other places across the country. If we knew, say this is what they were going to do, and that they were not going to allow the process to flow, Anka would not have stopped our people. And I regret it. And
that would have meant bloodshed.
Now Obi, if that is what your opponent has chosen to do, who Ujam opponent SCC.
You had the responsibility, or you were in power.
Exactly. Enunti enenyumeno obekaya. I made that very and after the time I was saying delivering that press briefing. No, we had no indication say we were losing the elections because our dashboard clearly showed say in fact that time we were even in the lead. We were in the lead. Don't forget, so when you are doing the coalition, it depends on baby Aboagye 275 constituencies. Into depending baby Aboagye free. So I just say it depending. Ubetumi ajeje almost ebia 60% na wulidi. But ebia 40% na kano. From open and strong. So as a matter of fact, and I put it on record, at the time I hear our press conference, we were leading the elections. We were. And we thought say but if you lead the elections there, why should we? I didn't think yen soma yen crofo na omunko yen di crofo we chi yen say ade no. Because ade no cry ye lead. In any case, ye leading poa. Yen jin this democracy na yen na no man na ye pre no. Ye pre say ye be say no. Enti your responsibility say ye be maintain calm. Ne make sure say we protect the peace. And until now be here we to say since a woman not don pray, the videos are there. The whole coalition center was invaded by NDC. You've seen the video. And there was no response. Because at that time, it was purely NDC people who had been called to go to the coalition center by their party. And like you rightly said, some years our press conference, and I say, MPP phone, I'm sorry. Now, someone call coalition center. I'm not sure by now, I handing over. I am not sure. Say by now, I handing over. In fact, there's one very respectable journalist because your friend is saying if you later I think I made a comment and was sending me message Bakuya okay and can you are protecting the sanctity of the state, you know, but it was becoming too much. So what's Betiana say as a man can say NDC for Buera Coalition Center. Do you know what they did? In some of the constituencies, Tama ballot papers in a few polling station Eba coalition centers no mo de macho men ni motorbikes akoshia electoral commission for na ballot boxes na titim etupa for electoral commission there were a lot of constituencies omanya full coalition it be as a polling stations ni be 150 to date to be collecting 135 140 but the only reason why declare say what the be ka kra na and make a difference but it was a strategy. In fact, they did it in so many places. For Ebuako North MP Nebisano the constituency then they did the same thing and then they no to me push it through. I'm gonna say ballot papers in so we had a responsibility to ensure say you be protected the sanctity of the state. That's why if you recall we made the analogy say you know the story of the Solomon and the two rivals. Yeah tuaba ye nimsa ba ye lead. As at the time I made a press conference, we were in the lead. I didn't think say no. And it was clear, say, because they knew at the time to say we're in the lead in it, you know. That is basically what happened. And it was a right call from us at that time. Because, like I'm telling you, say I'm making our call no at that time. If we are not called on our people at that time to remain calm, and that we are in the lead. Enti yen hwie insuo ne akola ni nyina ngu ne yen sen na me yes sure say by now kan handing over. So I just here enti enna make say uni denim and seated around the table uni complete information, uni complete view of the issues. Enti it's okay when you are giving your own interpretation of how it should have gone, it's fine. But there was sole responsibility at the time as a government to ensure say we went through election 2024 with Ghana intact, and that is exactly what we did. In doing that, we have to cut our own losses.
Leading up to the election, many would incommode be brave. One interview I remember very well, and I think that insets no echo viral. You made the point, say NDC for Omunya campaign, social media no mote, but social media yen twaba wo. Do you still stand by that claim, knowing what you know now?
Obi, social media, police station,
Derby,
twaba
Derby.
Uji dipan say NDC for elections you win because Ghana for didn't understand, believe in them, but simply because no more social media and no more win. No. Exactly.
But we reaching cophobia with social media.
There was no doubt about that. I think the point you raised with social media and the point we made with social media was that election is really about the polling station.
Yes.
All other factors counted, but the real situation is at the police station. So that is fact. It doesn't change anything. The fact is that say on Twitter or Facebook and Twitter. Some men are very active on Facebook and Twitter. But I say on Twitter. So it's one of the tools to use. But you surely cannot rely entirely on that tool. Can you? And see that fact still remains. I don't think say anything, and now you even dispute that. But who disputes that fact? No?
Yeah, because I think the results will show you say maybe with that mindset at the time, no, you were not conscious on reaching the youth.
But you know that's not
millions.
But you know that's not true.
Okay.
You know that even when we're discussing that, we were very much active. In fact, go and look at all the social media analytics, including even the ones Imani released.
Yes.
They will tell you clearly that Dr. Bawumia was strong, very, very strong. At some point, even stronger than Prez Mahama on social media. So nobody discounted that. But the fact is that any polling station on social media.
Yes.
So you have to utilize that tool and campaign there, but you cannot rely on that as a basis for winning or losing an election.
Yes.
No. Your polling station.
No.
Your A and B. No. But nobody is saying you neglect it. All of us were there. You and I know say we live there. I basically live there. So nobody discounted. I think what rather has happened is a spin and a twist. You know that's what has been applied to that video. The fact that Ubia share video no say social media doesn't win elections. Yeah. That's a spin, but that's not the fact. That's what the point we made here. That's what I just say. So that spin can continue. They say you can't do anything about it. But the fact of the matter is that the elections happen in the homes of the Ghanaian people. Abano is see ewo Ghana Fufi polling station ho any yetwaba. And you have to do much more in ensuring say what's no ebedu Ghana for ewo omufie. You get what I'm saying? But obi uni obi konto kwana say obrowa obi to be 30 years old.
Sure.
We are here. We are Kenya. This will not be a conversation. But once you go into a contest and you lose, you should accept every single feedback, criticism, whether good or bad, because you have lost. Because at the end of the day, if Anka will approach, superior Anka we need, and I don't think it's something that we should do. Ever since you lose, I've always told people say, let's acknowledge the facts that for whatever it may be,
yes,
the NDC won the elections and they won it against us. It could be for several reasons. There are times that political parties can even win elections without doing anything. Because the other person was just the other opponent might be
a referendum on the opponent.
Exactly. It is
and then the performance.
And that's exactly what's reflected in the 2024 elections. Without doubt. The 2024 elections, it is without doubt a referendum on our government. There is no doubt about that. So you didn't need to have an extraordinary political party to be able to win an elections against that. What we were doing was to work really hard to do something. What to say party be winning 30 elections or my way. So I just say it was quite a formidable a difficult task, to execute, and that is what we put all our energy and efforts into. That notwithstanding, NDC for winning, and they won it resoundingly.
Yes,
they won it almost winning resoundingly.
Meaning said Miracles Aboagye Akwaba na saying
that's all. Now we just know we see a real lawyer for Shetty the Regis. Who could hear someone as well could hear? I'm not doing it. I don't know doing it. Oh, say, you two baby. Yes. You don't go. Now I hear in Ukraine come.
Yeah.
You may near Quap and I will not when I'm not. Yeah. To find me cried in particular, we are not when I'm not crazy.
Oh, yeah,
I will give you up on you. Nadia no not air until you rub me mukakra. But Nyamiadum, and what then I say about your mind so and
that's true.
They say, yes, and so that's making sure say, you remember Ghana when he
but is a yawn and a shock in every oh, a shock in a bar with defeat, no?
Oh, say, I think they are a hammy pie. The millions and millions of Ghanaians are now omo gidi we mu ewo edidaso we mu no I think say e hopa na me na e ma me di ya as for losing there, we a politician now going to election obi to me lose obi to me win but obi we should be pa ya bobo abane say ye lose na ade atone so obi kro ho a it be born yare ebi mo ho a for days known to me
recover
as you speak I even know people are up to now crown and these are not active politicians we mu ye Ghana for nani that's when they say NPP party na man you be to me Ghana in spite of all the challenges they are committed and these are usually when we penifua omu Ghana over the period until omu are clear in their mind say in spite of difficulties NPP na party on my no ye be to me e ye and bebre na omu guzo omu di ya nti wo mu out here obi to me frame no su keke bo amami penim pa bro ofrewa osu na osu so nti eno de ehame pa because clearly what it tells you is that at the now mo ye no dipa bebre ni edam so nti hardring so it effect on me because we out to won say we are from na mkrom kra mami penim mo say oh miracles na den ala mo yes ade e betire mu sa ase ya ene nkrofo e betina ha sa biom 4 years and they harbor fear so they harbor fear obi ho they know they've experienced abanye was over the period no munim insunsuanso a omode ba ene ade nti ase example PTSD na post trauma
syndrome
so what one is nkrofo e biom knowing what they've done in the past it's been quite a difficult period, especially managing all these stakeholders and concerned citizens near there but we have to move on, we have to soldier on. I say to me sorry ne papa when you say senior Bible ne kano say yeda so tiase ye won kwam nko ade edida so ho biom and na de say ye asaman yoku ni ye aseku na yetumi eka ye ho bom na esanso gi of mine si ho no na ye enti obi but 2025
looking back with the benefit of hindsight well I think me share flyer say na will be din common one of the things I'm for be reminding me say okay we say post traumatic stress disorder
post traumatic stress
disorder good but one reminder I'm for be the man say wo ba me musa say or say